Greetings. This is Revere Sky, Revere Sky's Essence. Uh, Start joining the Patreon so you can get deeper, intuitive knowledge from many perspectives. Okay? Um, this topic is going to be about internal warfare. Internal warfare. There will be multiple videos put together because for some reason I'm having a problem with my storage. So, internal warfare. If you study war and observe war, a lot of people who were conquered internally. They got compromised internally. Now, you got people in different turf wars throughout the ages and throughout history that battled straight up. But once you battle straight up, somebody's defense got to be weakened. And then you got to go back and get more people to try to weaken them again and weaken them again. And then if the race of people feel like all humans are equal and everybody should get along, that's when the internal war takes place. If those people feel like land should be free, nobody should have to pay rent, this, that, and the other, and you got a more critical type of people who want to audit everything, want everybody to have to pay, barter, do this and that, and territorial, you got a different group of people, different group of mindsets, a different way of processing money, power, rights, and privileges. So to this internal warfare, let's use Russia and Ukraine, for example. Why would Russia promote publicly that they want to take over Ukraine? Why not take over internally? What does the United States do? What does the United States do every time they have a victim country? What does Europe do every time they have a victimized country? They have, oh man, the word not coming across, but the groups of people, they send them somewhere else. What was the joke about Biden and the Taliban? Oh, they are, what's the word? Y'all got to put the word in the comments. But when you have a group of people that either got beat up, their home got taken or destroyed, they send them somewhere else. Refugees. So Ukraine, okay, supposedly gonna get their butt whooped, right? Are they gonna be refugees that they send to the United States, send to America, Canada, Mexico, South America, Africa, Europe? Where are these Ukrainians going? Where are these refugees going? And is it all by design? Is it all by design? Is it nested? Is it internal warfare? That's just like the United States of America. It's internal. If you still believe in 2022 that you have a legit president and a legit vice president, you got another thing coming. It's all staged, operated. It's a fashion show. It's a freak show. Internally, they got rid of the Pecker W's ever since Kennedy. And Kennedy people were not even from Kennedy know his lineage and Kennedy know where they from, the Kennedys. But what I'm saying is when these people said this is the land of the free, all them immigrants came over, learned to talk and speak like these Pecker W's, and they got into office. Long as they showed they they white privileges, they got into office. And then finally it got to the point where they couldn't trust or rely on nobody to speak out or go against the agenda, so they start planting new presidents. Everything is foreign policy and corrupt as hell. I hate I'm able to see so much, know so much, and I didn't need nobody to take me to some secret order to see it. It's in plain sight. So again, why would Russia publicly want to destroy a country when they could have internally did it in silence? The same way they phased out the American spirit in the United States, globally they came in and infiltrated the United States in the system, and it got traded off to the banksters. The same way Russia could have silently infiltrated Ukraine, if not already. Remember, certain countries will start wars just to refugee. Like if they not getting what they want, the money and the substance and the resources they need, they'll go in the big old war so other people will take these people to go have a better life. Use them as moles, use them as infiltrators, use them as leaks in other countries, use them as spies. I just don't understand why publicly they infiltrated these people when they didn't do it silently. Just like now, Uber talking about donate $5 to Ukraine. How about all these countries donate money to the American Indians that are lost, or the slaves, or the refugees of slaves in the United States? Donate to us. Have a crowdfund to us. Send our money to us. Loss of identity. Why don't we have a crowdfund with loss of identity? Y'all need to know when you're being played. If a person want what you got, they're gonna get you internally. They not gonna come in with mass destruction. They gonna preserve your people, and they're gonna come in internally. Just like every single indigenous melanated landmass got a Caucasian representation, a European phenotype representation, a watered down, whitewashed representation. So why publicly do you have to show what you can do when you could have went in internally? Your neighboring borders. Just like the same way you have migration, you have immigration, you have visitation rights, and then you go make babies and you move in. You have secret orders and secret channels. But if you want to create refugees and if you want to spread them out through the world, that's what you're going to do. It needs to be public. Just like How did they do, how did Hitler do the Jews? He promoted it publicly. And they were able to refuge and get compensation and go anywhere in the world. Take them in with open arms and sorrow. But name one black American who got taken in with open arms and sorrow and received compensation. Like I said, I love everybody. You breathing, you living, and electricity running in your body on this planet. There's some level of frequency of love, but I'm going to feed you from a long-handled spoon. Anybody who wants to infiltrate you is not going to even let you know you're going to war. Say it again, Revere Sky. Anybody that wants to infiltrate you are not going to let you know that you are going to war. They're just gonna do it internally. That's why they put our country in debt so that a foreign policy could take over. That's like somebody want to live with you or be with you. They're not going to break you down from the outside. They're going to move in on you. It's going to be the closest people to move in on you. The closest people that think that they're your best friend. They're there for you. They support you internally. People that think they know you inside and out. Think they know your next move and who you are and calculate you. They're going to hit you internally. Now, if they can't hit you internally, if they can't move up the ladder in your infrastructure, they will come in bombing. They will come in fighting. If they can't break your system down. Like these countries like Arabia and Africa, how somehow they start tribal wars. Afghanistan, tribal wars. Kush, what's the name of that? Not Kamish. What's the name of that fabric? Cashmere. Like cashmere. Cashmere got blocked out and banned and neglected. Persia did something to somebody over there. See, if they can't get you internally and you got a tight-knit community, then they have to come in fighting. They got to choose. Do they want this to look like, do they want this to be public and global? Or do they want to come in silently and just take over? See, when people don't know they at war, they comfortable. They lay back, they relax. And the only war they know is fighting. But they don't know that it's a precise timing, calculated thought process, internal moving people up the ladder. The fact that they even allowed a Chinese man, and I don't have a problem with Chinese, but the fact they even had a Chinese man run for president, the fact that they had a foreign lady as first lady in the White House that barely spoke English, that should let you know it's not what you think. They're letting you know you've already been infiltrated, hired out, and infiltrated. And again, like I say, most people that go to war, they put you in laws and stuff, and they put you in different types of laws and stuff, and they try to make new rules and regulations to protect them, but it slowly weeds you out from protection. It slowly takes away your natural rights. But for some reason, this so-called war It's not like that. And you know, I reflect on those tomato seeds. And all I could do is think about the movie with Denzel Washington when they kept replaying the tomato, how the tomato is the tomato is MK Ultra. The tomato is a hive mind pursuit to control and brainwash the people. I forget the name of the title of the movie, but the tomato is a symbolic thing of a brainwashed people, a drone-like people set out to do what they're told. Refugees, they're nothing but moles and spies. They'll do anything to live, to stay alive, to see another day. They'll sell out a whole country. Hive mind is in full effect. Hive mind is in full effect. It's up to you to respect what you see and hear and know. Your perspective, your perception is everything. All they do is send refugees to other places to conquer and spy on the mass people. They could have took that country out internally. They did not have to show it the way they did. They didn't have to promote it publicly. I really know, what I see, and what I vision. Everybody else was taken out from the inside out. Sellouts, coons. Everybody was taken out from the inside out. Somebody sold them out for a dream and some fake money. You always get sold out. Just like when gave the man the $5 million and nobody wouldn't let him put it in no bank. And it was two wars going on, and how would you get somebody to turn against your people? Whether the man dead or he alive, to show publicly that we was able to get these tribes from this country to turn against each other to kill this man because he say, you can't buy my oil with your fake money, you got to use gold and resources. And internally, they went to war. How can all of a sudden you be in a country like Africa and two tribes just go to war? It's internally done. You send agents in to create a war. You give uneducated people guns to kill indigenous people. You send people to other countries and let them have children, and in 30 years, they'll forget that they even came from Afghanistan, Iran, Arabia, Europe. They'll forget that they even came from there about 100 years. And next thing you know, they got a whole new brainwashing, a whole new infiltration right there. I just curious to know why they promoted that war publicly and why they didn't go in internally and just take down the hierarchy and just take over the country. Why did they have to physically do it? That's just like people talk about 9/11. You think we went to war, you think we got attacked. When it was internally. It was done internally. It was never outwards. The worst thing on the planet is not knowing who you're up for war against. But you do have a head start by knowing that you're at war, that somebody's trying to remove you or suppress you or oppress you or brainwash you into be a certain type of person, not a free thinker, not a person with free will. Internal war is real, biologically, spiritually. This planet has been internally bioweaponized, torn apart. Just imagine if somebody clogged your veins up with fat and your blood can't flow. Just like the water and the rivers, how they dammed up the planet. They dammed up the planet. They dammed up the water. So her chi and prana cannot flow properly. We're having water wars and people are fighting about fake money and currency and resources when we should be fighting about them damming up the water. No matter what alien species you are on the planet, you need water. Unless you're robotic. But you need some form of liquid. So why is everybody fighting over money, oil, and gold, but ain't nobody fighting over water? Ain't nobody saying, I'm going to come up north and I'm going to do to y'all asses if this water don't come down and flow properly. Ain't nobody going to war for that. That just shows that the people in power and that try to displace so much power are puppets. They have no say-so. It ain't none of their business. They're doing what they were programmed and designed to do. What that guy called it, not brainwashing, but they're doing what they're programmed and designed to do. But it's it's when you hypnotize somebody. Dang, what he call it? I can't keep that word in my mind to save my life. It's a type of brainwashing where the people are like drones. They just do what they were programmed to do. That's it. If anything, people should be saying, where's all the water? What happened to all the water? It didn't leave the planet. Who's holding the water? Who's storing the water? Who's stopping the planet from thriving? It's just something to think about. So I'm going to leave it there. Know that people have internal wars, silently, silent internal wars. People do not promote stuff publicly unless they're trying to push a group of people off on you. Internal warfare. Systematic internal warfare. And they push a bunch of refugees off on you. May have chips, may have certain type of vaccinations, all types of stuff. Compromise inside out. Leeching people for money. How you gonna give people money? Why do you even need money to get a group of people and take them to somewhere safe? Why do you need money? Just use the resources. The resources is the money. If the resources is the money, why do you need money? Just use the resources. If somebody's in need, use the resources. Why do you have to collect the money to use the resources? Hold on, there's a emergency. There's a crisis. Use the resources. Why do you need people like us to give you our money So you can use the resources. Why not just write the resources off? Why do we have to go in debt when all you have to do is use the resources? The oil, the gas, and pay the people who navigate the ships, the planes, and stuff like that. Everybody got to pay for the resources. Who's going to pay for the resources? Why we just can't bottle 1 trillion bottles of water? Why we can't just have oil, food, fire, and give it? Why do we have to trade our money for resources that are free on the planet to help somebody else? Why you just can't use the resources? Why do we have to donate? We don't know if the war is staged. We don't know if the war real. We don't know if it's an act. We don't know if it's Hollywood. We don't know what it is. If they really need help, just use the resources. Why are we being charged to use free resources to help somebody in a crisis? So just remember, internal warfare is real. And if somebody trying to push refugees on you, think about it now. Remember Hitler. Remember what he did. And remember how the other people got compensated. And remember how they was able to come and take over the world. Silent weapons, quiet wars, taking over indigenous people internally, taking out one group of ambassadors and replacing them with another group of ambassadors, molding, shaping, and reprogramming people to serve your agendas. I'm done with it. Hopefully one day y'all realize it. Why would you attack somebody publicly when you can attack them internally? Y'all shared the same borders. You could have been a clergy, a clerk, a secretary, and moved your way up the ladder. But it was promoted publicly for a reason. I'm starting to think it's a scam, a global scam. And like I say, the only way a people will come in fighting, is if they can move up the ladder. That'd be like I have a corporation. Let's say I have a multi-million-dollar corporation, and you can tell I only hire my own, and they have extensive background and they're vetted heavily. And we've been running this corporation for 300 years, and for some reason, no mold or agent can get in. Sooner or later, they'll find a way to pencil whoop you or do something to bring you down because they can't internally go in and spy on you. So they'll come in physically. They'll mess everything up physically. They'll mess up the chain of order. I could probably have a male executive. He probably go out for drinks. They probably send a man to his wife, get her to cheat. He goes out to drink. Then they send in this snake woman to go in and have an affair with him. And then next thing you know, he start bitching about what's going on internally in our organization or corporation. and start spilling the beans. And next thing you know, he done got remarried, and he done forgot the whole reason for the organization or the corporation in the first place. And then next thing you know, you get infiltrated. And then when you hire outside, when you contract outside of your own people, you get infiltrated. Just something to think about, just an example. So a lot of people use internal tactics and internal war. Just like when you go to California, you know, they only hire their own. You may see one young 16-year-old student working at Burger King or Church's Chicken or Taco Bell, 16-year-old African American student. But you don't see nobody else. These people hire their own. They do not hire other people to work in their offices, to do nothing. It's all internal. It's infrastructure. Just like you could go to Coca-Cola, down in McAllen, and your appointment could be at 4 o'clock in the morning, but they're gonna let all their buddies go first. And they're gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you, they're not even gonna tell you, it's like a code, they know. It's been plenty of times my appointment has been at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, but the docks are already full, and I should have been one of the first people, and they're letting the people from 6 and 7 o'clock go on to get unloaded. And they don't realize they're overworking themselves. Not only that, when you go to a grocery store and you're putting your stuff on the belt, and a Jew or a Caucasian Spanish person just walks up to the cashier and hand them their handful of groceries. They never ask, do you mind or nothing. They just walk up there and cut you. It's internal. Try it one day. You see a Caucasian looking white legally white person putting their groceries up, and you got a pack of gum in your hand. Walk up to that cashier, especially a black one. Walk up to a black cashier and hand them the gum to ring you up. They're going to look at you like you did something wrong, and they're going to tell you to go to the end of the line. But these people have a knowing, an internal knowing that we stick together, and they show you in public. They cut you. They feel like they high on the food chain. They cut you in traffic. They cut you in public. They cut you at everywhere. I'm in line getting food at a Mexican restaurant. The lady grabbed my plate. An older Mexican lady, Caucasian looking, European looking, walks up to the cash register and say, put me this, and on the plate. She stopped the lady because, see, I come there a lot. So she stopped the lady and said, I got to take her order first. She was waiting in line. And I looked at the old lady to let her know, since that lady respected me and gave me the opportunity to go first, I'm going to let you have that and go sit down with your friend that's already eating. But that lady literally was using her privilege of, we come first. We always put each other first. But if you got a bunch of hardworking Mexicans in line ready to eat, you're not going to cut them. So why do you want to cut me? I see it too much. I be at the 99-cent only store getting groceries, and a Jew would just walk up and cut you as if their life is more important than yours. It's just something to think about. Spanish do it too, all the time. And I'm calling them Spanish because they're not real Mexicans. They're immigrants. I'm over the fuckery. I'm over the fakery. These are my chronicles. These are my chronicles. Y'all really need to start observing what's going on around you, understand how they systematically work. If you're not willing to stick together or unite in no form of fashion, you're going to be out here with the wolves because these people are sticking together with like a G code. How do you think that I was able to go to 6 underpaths and you got a parade of people holding up United States flags, Confederate flags, skull and bone flags, uh, and 2 other types of flags? How you think they grouped together and got together? How you think they come up with all this? How you think they willing to come up with these pledges and these little mini parades and these protests? How do you think they do it? Y'all better start paying attention. If they want you, they're going to get you internally. That's just like the pandemic. They hit you internally. They compromise your DNA internally and used it against you, programmed you that you weren't safe to be around other people. You weren't safe to be around your family. Internally, weaponized your mind. If people want you, they're going to hit you internally. They're going to go inside first. They're not going to go publicly and attack you unless there's a greater agenda behind it. So there we have it. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free. Mwah.